Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to our call this week in half term. No, it's not the most convenient of weeks for lots of people, but we wanted to do a follow-up for the day 2 of convention, so that's why we're doing it.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Day 2 of convention was a great day, and we've got a couple of the guys that were there, some of the team that were there on day 2, and they're going to talk about their experiences, and so we're really excited to hear from them and go back over day 2, which was a really exciting day, because the main thing is Rebecca spoke, which was brilliant.
Best highlight.
Everybody liked the page
it.
if they loved Rebecca's talk, because I thought it was awesome.
Let's move on.
Move on. So, just one announcement really. The spring tours that are coming up, there's the executive, well, they're calling it the Executives on Tour. So there are only 2 dates, but they're all different places and different executives in these 2 dates. So the 2 dates are the 9th of June and the 16th of June. And they're in all different countries over Europe. So go on to, depending on where your teams are, or you might have teams in different places in Europe, then send them to doTERRA Every Day and have a look on the right hand side. There is a Executives on Tour link, and you can see where in your country, what date in the country that they're going to. So for instance, the UK is on the 16th of June in Milton Keynes, in the Jury Inn in Milton Keynes, and it's from 10 o'clock till 7 o'clock. It's a whole day thing. They're going to be going over customer stuff and business stuff as well. And we have 2 guys that are actually pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah, so we haven't got one of the executives because obviously we just had the UK convention. So they're going to different parts of Europe. But we do have the guy, I really like him. I met him in Long Beach in California, and he's in charge of all the techie stuff, so all the new technical development. So if you're at all technical, just want to know about what's going to be going on in the back office and all the new things. No, it's Andrew O'Hare.
Andrew O'Hare. So both of them are coming, Todd Thompson and Andrew O'Hare. One is the Chief Information Officer, and the other is the Chief Commercial Officer.
Good. And there's going to be lots of leaders talking about product and also business again as well. So it's definitely worth going to. You know, events are always worth going to, I think. So get as many of the team there as you can. Good day. Yeah. Great day. Okay. So
we just want to introduce Craig and Leslie.
Yes, first up tonight.
It was Craig and Leslie's first experience at convention. And so we just wanted to ask them if they would share how they felt about convention and what they got from it. Are you there, Craig and Leslie?
Oh.
Hi.
Hey guys.
All right then. Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hello everybody. I'll start one then because she's a better finisher than me. So
Finish strong.
Yeah. And we've been like this before in our previous network. So for me, it was like, without kind of looking for comparisons, it was difficult not to compare. And what I got from it really was the kind of fact that there was no real razzmatazz, there were no egos, there was no signs saying, look at me. It was kind of look at us and look at the people we've helped. It was kind of, whilst it was obviously professional and it was big, it was relaxed as well, which kind of created the environment for us, well, certainly for me, to feel relaxed and learn from things. We used to go to these kind of things and come away with full of motivation for a couple of days, but because it lacked information, that motivation kind of soon wavered off. No matter what, your willpower soon kind of wavers off. So it was full of information, which I was able to kind of personally go away with and kind of do something about. And I mean, she's a full-on geek.
Thanks, babe.
So I love actually, Brian, and I'm not, but I enjoyed the geeky side of it. I enjoyed that information. It was really, really interesting. What's the name? Like rewards parade. I can't remember what you call it. Recognition. That's one. Again, that was totally different. It's
a lot more informal. It was a lot more of energy. Like Craig said, the fact that it was so relaxed and you could just get up and walk around. And I think the biggest thing actually for me was, as you got closer to the hall, was the smell. You could just smell the oils, and it was really powerful, and I think that puts you in a really good mindset straight away when you've got that aroma buzzing around, and everybody's in the same boat as one another, so to speak, where everyone wants to learn about the oils and to make a difference in people's lives. The biggest thing for me was the geeky aspect.
Yes, love it, Leslie.
Yeah. All the science. Dr. Hill for me was absolutely amazing. One of our guys said she actually fell a little bit in love with him, and I think I'm actually with her. I think I do actually love Dr. Hill a little bit.
I wrote off to him and told
him. So just the science behind it for me was just mind blowing, because I think sometimes you can lose your way a little bit when you're not fully immersed in it, because we, as Craig said, as part of our previous network, we did go to a lot of meetings throughout the month. So when it's just you guys on your own, it's sometimes a little bit difficult to sort of keep motivated.
Yeah.
But when you hear the science behind the oils, it just sort of reaffirmed everything that we're doing and the reasons why we're doing it, because, you know, it was just so sort of solidifying for me in my mind of what we're doing. And the way that he put it was just like, you know, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand.
No, even I understood it.
Craig was nodding.
And I failed my rocket science exams.
Craig was space cadet. So yeah, Dr. Hill for me, obviously Rebecca's talk was the highlight of the whole weekend.
Obviously.
It
was so dramatic with the bleeding lip. That was all planned, you know.
Yeah, the lip and everyone felt sorry for you.
It was good, because I mean, I'd been following this thing about the school. I can't pronounce it, so I've been the Toon Army School. I've been following it anyway, so it was great to see that lady come on.
That was just great.
You know, it was brilliant. But it just said everything what doTERRA is about. It's about the people we help, not us.
Yes.
About everybody else.
That was the biggest thing.
Which is a huge difference.
Really realising that you're part of something really big.
Yeah.
So there you
go.
go.
Thanks.
That was perfect. Sorry, the girls have just appeared by the computer. I don't know how they do that, but they just want to put them back to bed. But that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I really, you know, love what you said. And, you know, it really is. It just makes you feel and realise what you're part of. And it's more than just selling a few oils. You know, you really get to hear, about the science and about how they're changing lives in so many different ways. And that is what motivates me. So I'd love to hear that from you guys. So brilliant. Thank you so much, Craig and Leslie. It's perfect. So next up, we have Erin. So Erin's going to share with us what David Hill spoke about. So talking about David Hill, quite a few people liked what he had to say, and he spoke about his daily habits. So Erin, thank you very much.
Hi everyone, thanks Bex. So I'm going to try and share my screen because Dr. Hill, there's a lot of science involved, and there was lots and lots of really useful information, so it's quite overwhelming if you can't kind of see and visualize something as well. So let's see if this works. It's always a bit techy. Oh, here we go. Fingers crossed. Okay, can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Dr. Hill started by dispelling a few myths around essential oils, and he backed this up by brilliant research. You know, we know that there's kind of the gold standard research that's been done, peer-reviewed, double-blind trials in essential oils, and we know that oils are biologically active, that they're driven by their chemistry. Number two is that they're active at the surface, the cell surface, and they have specific cellular targets. And he referred to this with DDR prime. So there's lots of wonderful and powerful oils in DDR prime, but the research has shown that they can interact with and target the cell DNA, which is just amazing. It's fascinating, and that they can actually affect the mitochondria of the cell and change the cell to a more healthy state. So this is kind of really ignoring that, pushing aside that placebo effect that some people think that essential oils have, and just backing it with firm science. And the third one is that oils are selective. And he mentioned clove oil and how it has the ability to stimulate, in line with our own body response, cell death. So when our cells are struggling or not functioning properly, it can have the effect to just help the body and the cells to adapt to our own needs. So some really key important information there, that when we're using these oils, it's the chemistry that's driving their action. So he then goes on to say that they can be effective in so many ways, and then put out our daily habits and daily plan that we can use to get this action within ourselves and make it part of our daily habits. So how can we use them most effectively? How can we harness all of those properties the essential oils have? So 2 things that he highlighted is that it's about lifestyle. It's not just here and there, but it's really making it a part of the lifestyle that we live, and about consistency as well. So we've seen this wellness pyramid lots of times before, and I haven't got the new version, as I believe that Proactive Medical Care has been replaced by doTERRA Healthcare, which is amazing. But you'll be familiar with all of those other aspects. And it's about the things that we do on a daily basis to improve the process of our own health. And he mentioned 3 things that we need to concentrate on every day for our health. And those 3 things are rest, digest, and protect. And then that's incorporated in this wellness pyramid. I know he doesn't like the word pyramid, but they build on each other. So right from that foundation, we can build up and really support the whole of our body, the whole of our life, really. So we'll look on then at how that builds and how we use those products daily to cover each of those areas. So the first one is eating right. And this is where Lifelong Vitality comes in. And it's all 3 of those supplements together. They're not designed to be taken individually, just on their own. They work synergistically together. So they cover just the whole area of nutrition. We've got our vitamins, our minerals, the omegas, and the antioxidants that really support overall cell health, and that form the foundation of good nutrition. And then we've got PB Assist. Now these really help to support the probiotics, to support our gut health. They contain a prebiotic, which is the food for the bacteria, and also the bacteria themselves, and a number of different strains. So really supportive. And he mentioned, and we've heard this a number of times, that 80% of our immune system, our immune health, is dependent on gut function. So if we are taking care of our gut health, then we can really be supporting our immune system as well. Next is Terrazyme, and these are your dietary enzymes that we need to be able to absorb and to metabolize and break down those essential nutrients that we take in our food, but also in the supplements. And interestingly, he said that all food that even if you have the healthiest diet and you feel like you're the healthiest person, food is generally devoid of good nutrients and core nutrition. So we can all benefit from supplementing our health in this way, supplementing our diet. And interestingly, he kind of summarized and finished that section by saying, I implore you to take this product every single day. And I just find that fascinating. I've been using it and I've really felt the benefit from it. I didn't think that I was a particularly unhealthy person, but I really notice a difference when I don't take it. So it's about getting that core and that basis right for good nutrition. And also there's children's versions there as well, so they can have that support as well. The next one is exercise. We all know that we need to be doing at least 30 minutes of exercise 3 times a week, where our heart rate is raised, and it's in whatever way that we enjoy. So there are a whole variety of different things you can do, but that exercise and that physical activity can be supported with Deep Blue. And he mentioned that it's not just for soothing the after effects and for recovery, but also as a prevention. So we can use that before exercise just to support our muscles and our joints, and to really help oxygenate the tissues that are going to be involved in that process. So any kind of strenuous activity or just aches and pains that's really supported for. Okay, so next we've got rest. And this is made up of two areas really. It's managing stress and receiving proper rest at night time. So his recommendation is Balance oil. I love Balance. It's one of my favorite ones. And it's for long-lasting and deep-rooted rest. So really supporting emotional rest as well as physical rest. And then you've got your Serenity. Now, I originally thought, well, I'll just do one or the other. I don't need to do both. But he spoke how they work together synergistically. They are different. They contain different things. So in Serenity, you've got German chamomile, you've got L-theanine, I think. So that's a kind of a whole system. And then you've got Serenity, you've got some lovely essential oils in there that you can use as well. And using those together can really support a restful night's sleep. The next one is Toxicity. So this is where your citrus oils come in. They support the body's natural ability to cleanse and to detox and to protect. And it's through their high limonene content that they have. The chemistry supports, I'm not going to get this right, glutathione. Is that right? Glutathione? I think that's right. Bex, help me out here. Just give me a nod. Glutathione, is that right?
Glutathione, yes.
Okay, I'm a biologist, not me. My chemistry is, never mind. So anyway, it's those levels in the liver, so it can really help and support the liver in detoxing what it's supposed to do naturally, but it can just help along that process. So that's using those citrus oils in water and having them throughout the day. Okay, next we're moving on to self-care. So we're really looking here at cellular support. Cells are the building blocks of our body, and when we can support their function, we have the overall whole system support as well. So frankincense then, now our cells have the ability to, they have a code, they have a genetic code, the DNA, and sometimes alterations can occur, but the cells have the ability to correct and to identify and correct any changes or damages that might occur to DNA. And what frankincense can do is it can support the cell in that process, which is just amazing. It can really help the DNA mechanism, repair mechanism involved. So a wonderful thing to be taking daily to be proactive about our cellular health. And the second one then is really a great immune support. It's varied in its chemistry and it covers lots of areas, and it helps the body in its protective sequences. So great at fighting infection, just improving the immune support. So all of those oils then can help on the wellness pyramid and cover all of those bases. What Dr. Hill then went on to share is to what does that look like in a day? How do we use those products on a daily basis? So he then shared his daily routine, and he split it into 4 categories. So in the morning, 2 to 3 drops of Balance on the feet when waking. So that can really help to ground and to settle those emotions. 1 drop of frankincense under the tongue. Again, that's your cellular support. And it says PB Assist with breakfast, and then LLV and your Terrazyme. So those together in the morning. And then in the afternoon, it's about using your favorite oils topically for mood management. So whatever it is, whether it's Motivate, whether it's Cheer, any of those kind of oils that you really go to on an emotional level. And then you've got, again, LLV and Terrazyme with a meal, and citrus oils in water throughout the day. So choose your favorite. He mentions grapefruit quite a bit. And then in the evening, you've got LLV and Terrazyme with an evening meal. And you've got On Guard, either diffusing or taking a capsule. And Dr. Hill mentioned that your immune system is most active in the evening, which I didn't realise. So taking that in the evening is a great way to support the natural action of your body. And then at bedtime, to use an oil that you find relaxing, just to set that calming time. And then 2 Serenity soft gels 30 minutes before sleep. And then, as well as that, to apply Serenity, because remember they're slightly different, onto the soles of your feet or cedarwood or whatever you find that works best for you. We're all very different, and so for some people it might be vetiver or orange, and for others they enjoy lavender. So what you prefer and works best for helping you at bedtime. Now he mentioned actually that some people ask the question about, well, the supplements say take 4 daily, and well, how do I split that between breakfast, lunch and dinner? Is there a set way that I need to do it? And he just said that some people, well, you take one and one, or you take 2 in the morning, 1 at lunch and 1 in the evening, or you take 2 and 2, morning and night. And he said that his wife, she takes them all in one go. So it's really about what works best for you. But the main thing is consistency, doing it on a consistent basis. And lastly, I found this really useful, and I've seen it. It's online. You can just get hold of it if you Google daily health habits. But to get into that habit, and to, we have to be doing it regularly. We have to have that reminder. So you can just see here, you've got a 30-day tracker, and you've got the oils and the supplements that are recommended for use, and then how they support you in which areas. And you can just do a little checklist until it becomes a habit and you're regularly remembering to take those things. And then on the right hand side, you've got a daily health habit guide, and it just explains, it goes into detail, and it says On Guard, that's there explained how you use that, or the omegas and the toxicity, all of those levels, and it explains when to take it and how it works in your body. So I've just found that quite useful when setting up as a habit for myself. So yeah, it was a great action-packed, information-filled talk. So I hope
that was amazing. Thank you. You did that really good justice there, because that's a lot of stuff to cover.
It was a lot of stuff.
A bit of pressure covering Dr. Hill.
Just don't show him.
Yeah. No, I'm sure he'd be very proud. That was a good summary. That was really good. You said lots of really good points. But definitely, like what you were saying at the beginning about listening to Dr. Hill, just gives you confidence. It always gives me confidence. Like every time I listen to him. So if I'm ever having a little bit of a low, or a little bit, someone perhaps has rejected the oils that day or something, I'm feeling like, then I'll go and listen to Dr. Hill on YouTube or something, and it just reminds me why I'm doing this, and just gives me that. These are incredible, again, reminder, and I don't care if people don't want it, I'm going to keep sharing it. So I love it. So it gives you more confidence. And also his daily routine, I really like that, because it's not overwhelming, is it? It's not tons and tons of stuff. And so I strongly suggest, if you're not doing those things, to do them, because they are kind of the life-changing things. They're the things where you'll make a massive difference to your own health. And then when you feel it yourself, not only will you have the science and confidence behind it, but you'll also then be more passionate about it. And those are the things you'll find your customers will start using, because those are the things you'll naturally be passionate about. So like in wellness consultations, you can start bringing them up, and getting your customers onto that. Which will be really good for their health and the business as well. So perfect. Thank you so much, Erin. That was brilliant. So we then had a couple more doctors, another Dr. David. This time Dr. David Desar, I don't really know how to pronounce his name, Desar. And we've got Kirsten coming on to give a little summary of what he spoke about. So Kirsten, if you are there, can you please unmute yourself? And I don't actually know if I saw Kirsten, so she may not be here. I didn't send her a reminder. And I know she's been really busy. Okay, we may be skipping Kirsten. I might be messaging her on my phone and telling her to come on the call. So we'll go to Dr. Robin then. So our very own Dr. Robin, who we will get to come on and do a presentation to us all. We'll get her to do a team call, actually. But tonight we've got Nicola Wright is going to summarise Robin's talk for us. If Nicola's here. Yeah. Oh, you are! Hooray! Hello, Nicola.
Hello.
Colourful top.
I don't quite know how to follow Erin. I don't have any screen to share, because Nathan only rang me and asked me to do this. So I've delved into my memory of a week and a half ago. So I think I'll try and top line what she said. But I just wanted to just tell you how the conference kind of made me feel. So I've kind of dipped in and out of doTERRA for about 3 years now. And I think about 2 years ago, I was at a Mind, Body, Spirit festival with Nathan, and I was asking him, what was his drive? And he told me that it was his vision. So obviously Bex's vision was you. But I was, intrigued. I've worked before the children, worked in industry for many, many years. I know about vision and vision statements, but it was just something else from Nathan. He'd got this vision. So I read somewhere a while ago that you don't remember most of what someone says, but you remember about how they made you feel. So I can tell you how the conference made me feel. And I just feel now that I've got this vision that Nathan had, which is just something that is just, it's not something that you can tell somebody, I don't think. It's just something that's a feeling inside you. So I think for me, at my classes now, I can talk about co-impact sourcing with feeling, and I can talk about the healing hands, and having listened to that most incredibly selfless woman from Kenya talk about the impact that the money is going to have on her school stroke orphanage, the money obviously that you've helped her raise. So I've got this vision now, and I've got this incredible feeling that I don't know, I never thought that I didn't think I would come back feeling like this. So I'm sure most of us have, but listening to the executives of the company talk, they're just so genuine and so passionate. And I think the fact that they all want to impart their knowledge so that we can all be good custodians of the doTERRA message, to me, that's kind of how I've come back feeling. And I think, you know, for having been in it for kind of 3 years, I'm feeling a bit emotional talking about it, but it's just, you do, don't you? You just feel like, I know there's a lot of crying that goes on in doTERRA, so I'm not going to do all that. But so anyway, so I'm going to quickly top line. Oh, my computer's going to, oh, no, don't do that. Remind me to, it's going to restart. So from what I can remember about what Robin talked about, I can definitely tell you about how she made me feel. But from what I remember about what she specifically talked about, she talked about the history of medicine, because that's obviously her specialist subject. How over time natural solutions have been turned into sort of pharmaceuticals and money. She talked a lot about the evolution of lifestyle, how poor diet and toxic exposure and lack of sleep, and obviously the doTERRA pyramid comes to mind when she starts talking about things like that, about the impact that all has on our health. The evolution of disease was something that she talked about, how non-communicable diseases, so i.e. chronic disease, how they're largely preventable through lifestyle and environment. So, you know, essential oils. And she finished up by talking about how the general practice of medicine is focused on sick care rather than healthcare, and how this very much needs to change. So I think how she made me feel, she made me feel good. She made me feel that that I was an ambassador for this, good to be an ambassador for the same company that she was an ambassador for. She strengthened my belief in the massive role that I think essential oils have got in healthcare. And she made me feel very hopeful, hopeful that my lifestyle might prevent me and my family from getting ill, and that the message that I hope to convey through the classes that I do will help other people to do that. And I very much felt like what she was talking about was integration and education, which again is all about the class, isn't it? It's integrating essential oils into the foundation of our health and a healthcare system that's already in existence, and educating people that there is another way. So I think the fact that she, as a GP in this country, is aligning with us and what we're doing is just so incredibly powerful. But there's two things I think that really stick in my mind from what she talked about. And the first thing that I can't shake from my mind is that medical error is the third leading cause of death in the United States, which was just absolutely bowled over by that fact. And that it's all about lifestyle. So same as Erin was just saying about what Dr. Hill talked about, and we all know it's about good lifestyle, but we just need to employ these good habits every single day. And hopefully through our essential oil classes, we can reinforce this message. So I think finally, I think what I'd like to say, and this probably isn't conference related, but while I have everybody's attention, I just wanted to say, if you are new on here to doTERRA, and as I said, I've dipped in and out of this for 3 years. So if you are trying to spread the word of wellness, then I just think that having come away from this conference, I just wanted to say you mustn't underestimate what you know. We don't need to know everything. We've got amazing resources. I'm a qualified aromatherapist, and I doubted my message for a really long time. But I just think that the conference has given me belief, not in essential oils, because I already have belief in essential oils, but I guess belief in maybe my message to the world. And I think that's how I've come away feeling. And I think Dr. Robin reinforced that in me as well. So there you go, top lined.
I love it. Thank you so much. That was Brilliant again, and I love what you're saying, because that's exactly how I feel. Like, and hearing a GP say that, like you're saying, just adds so much more to it, doesn't it?
Totally
does. But you know, we've got to remember, people don't know what they don't know. And the reason why some people we come across, you know, aren't perhaps open to essential oils and they're so into drugs is because that's what they've been brought up with, you know. But people are starting to become more aware of the side effects of medication, and that I found that stat so odd. And people are becoming aware of that, and they're looking for somewhere else to go. And doTERRA is going to move forwards. Did you feel that? Like, no matter what, like if we're on board or not, doTERRA is this mass force that is going somewhere.
Yes, I know. I think that's just reinforced when we have I got 1 minute to tell the most incredible essential oil story ever.
1 minute.
My son's got celiac disease, and I belong to this to a Facebook group, a celiac Facebook group, and there was this woman on there, and her daughter had really huge digestive issues. So I never replied. So I did reply, and I just said, look, you know, if you want to know what I do, then I'm happy to tell you what I do. And it's obviously the Junior PV Assist that I use on Charlie. Used it for 3 months, sorted out all his stomach issues. And I was really brave, and I put in my message to her, and I also use a ton of essential oils. So she was super, super interested. So we got in touch, we did a Zoom, and Park the celiac disease. She then started talking about her. So she's 6 years old, this girl, and she's got these communication issues. Well, I've done quite a lot of reading about DDR prime for my son. And so I sent her a sample of DDR prime, obviously in some coconut oil, and some Balance and Wild Orange, because she had all these massive anxiety issues going on. This is just amazing. And I know you'll all believe me, because if I tell somebody that doesn't use essential oils, they'll think that I've made this up. So she started using the Balance and Wild Orange, which just took the anxiety away straight away. And I think the DDR prime has just unlocked something in her brain. So this little girl, her communication issues were that she didn't really speak. And she started to talk.
Wow.
Isn't that just the best? Incredible. So yeah, so good morning, Mrs. Watson is what she started saying. But that's gone from nothing to, like, in 2 weeks, good morning, Mrs. Watson. And I just think this is what it's all about, isn't it, for us?
Absolutely. Like, there's so many people that need these oils, you know, and people are struggling so badly, and they don't know where to turn. And that is where our mission is. It's just everyone. It
drives you, doesn't it? But it's like you were saying about all the people that say no. I mean, I met her on Facebook. She enrolled immediately with the Home Essentials kit, which is just unheard of for me. So anyway,
wow, well done for being brave. No, don't shut up. That was brilliant. That was a very good story. And amazing. Thank you, because I just love being reminded of these things all the time. You know, they keep us going, and this is what we do. This is what we get to do for a living.
Totally.
People's lives. And well done for being brave. That is well done. Okay, we have Kirsten on now. So Kirsten is going to give a summary of Dr. David Desar. You might say it better than me, Kirsten.
Sorry, hi, yeah.
It's fine, so it's our fault.
Dr. David, our pulmonologist, I thought he was a really down-to-earth guy. I thought it was really lovely how he's a hard-working doctor. He's surrounded by seriously unwell people, and you know, just really kind of working 60 hours, 80 hours a week, he said, supporting his family and doing a great job with doing that. But what I loved is how he sort of quite casually shares the oils, or how he does it, I'm not sure, but obviously he's around people that really have a need. And I think it's really brave of people like him to kind of stand up in a massive auditorium and talk about, again, this whole mixture of Western medicine and the natural medicine of doTERRA essential oils, because quite frankly, he could have been booed, but we don't do that in doTERRA, clearly. But, you know, this is a guy that, you know, has worked very hard for his medical degree, and it's really great to see the integration and to feel that openness that is there in the medical profession. It's not there with everybody yet. We're not going to get that overnight, but definitely feeling the shift in Europe. We always feel a little bit like we're behind America, and that's got to be the case for a long time. Maybe things will change in the future. Maybe Europe will, you know, revolutionize, you know, essential oils, and will have higher uptake than America. But ultimately, at this point, we're following the lead of the Americans, and they definitely feel like they're treading the path of opening their minds to both complementary, you know, being a complementary rather than polar opposite. You don't have to be, come from a natural background and never touch drugs or what have you, medicine, to actually then appreciate it. What I really loved is he gave me the confidence also in some of those moments where you think, oh gosh, this oil doesn't work. You know, he gave Slim and Sassy to a lady who wanted to lose weight, and he shared that he saw her in the hospital corridor 6 months later, and he said, how did the oil work? She hadn't lost any weight, but oh dear. But she said, oh yeah, I didn't lose any weight, but 4 of my chronic conditions have gone. So, you know, this is like the power of the oils. We don't know necessarily everything about what they do, but they do good things, you know. So for the right people, they'll do something that you won't necessarily know about. And that's the bit about being brave and not being scared by things maybe not necessarily working out the first time, and going, that's okay, that didn't work, that's all right, we can move on to another oil. And being okay to try it out and say, you know, it is your chemistry. It could be that there's something stopping that oil from working so well. So maybe need to look at your nutrition. Maybe we need to think about LLV, bring that on board. I mean, day 2 for me, I mean, day 1 was awesome. Day 2 for me was just awesome. There was so much inspirational talk. And I think, Nicola's just talked about Dr. Robin, who is a firm favourite of mine. Super love Dr. Robin, just because, again, the power of how she has got such knowledge and confidence in the medical world, and she's so happy to feel that this is the right path. And it's not something, like she's saying, her cold market of doctors, it's not about pushing. It's not about, you need to have this, oh, you haven't got it, what you're missing out. It's about caring, and people coming to her because they know that she knows that they need it. You know, she knows that they work hard and they're struggling with their day-to-day life, and doctors don't want to be popping pills every day to try and survive. Nobody wants that. Everyone wants a better life. They just want a healthier, happier daily life. And I think that's the lovely thing, is that you might feel a bit restricted sometimes about who can I help. The answer is actually everybody. I know that could be a bit daunting, but quite frankly, everybody needs these in their lives. And it could be from just very simple things of just being able to digest their food properly, you know, like stomach cramps or like indigestion. That's a small thing for maybe someone, but actually every day that's not fun. Or the fact that they've got so used to not sleeping that they just don't sleep. You know, one of my cousin was a prime example of that, where I really actually pushed her. I'm going to say that. I gave her Serenity. I knew she needed Serenity. I knew lavender wasn't quite enough for her. She was a real insomniac. I sent her a tiny sample. I pushed her, not in a horrible way, but I really want you to come to a class. I'd love you to come to a class. I really think you should use the oil. I knew she hadn't used it. Anyway, she ended up coming to a class after I said, I've got an online class tonight, please come. And she said, oh, they're quite expensive, and you know, at the end of the class, and I said, you still haven't tried your Serenity, have you? So anyway, the next day she messaged me saying, I understand why you were in love with these oils. I have slept for the first time in years using the oils, using Serenity. That's it. That was her changing moment. And she said, I want the oils, I want the the deep blue, and I want a diffuser. And she completely got on board. And I just feel that that's the hope, you know. Don't give up on people. Try stuff that is different, you know, and don't get upset if it doesn't work out. Again, all this sort of pipeline, they talk about the pipeline. You will be that oily person they'll come back to at some point when they start to think about it, you know. They'll be, oh yes, so and so, you know, Nicola spoke to me about that, or Erin did, or Pat did. And they'll know, they'll resonate to you. So yeah, don't push, but just care. That's my message from day 2, definitely.
It's brilliant, Kirsten. Thank you so much. When you talk about Robin as well, just you know, with her, she's the perfect example as well of being consistent, like you're saying, and just building that pipeline, because certainly she found she got a bit disheartened to begin with, because she was sharing with people in the medical world. And, you know, they're not quick changes usually, because they're really fixed in the things they've been using. But now they are starting to show interest. So exactly, just care about people, carry on using them yourself. You'll be passionate about it, and just focus on serving others. And they will come. Like you said, when they're ready, people will come. And some people come quicker, some people come later. Thank you very much, Kirsten. That's perfect. So last speaker tonight, we have Sonia. Sonia on the call. She's going to talk about kind of the afternoon, a bit about the healing hands kind of side of it a little bit. Just give us a summary of that.
Hi, everybody. Yes. I love the whole conference. Obviously, my whole team was really, really buzzed. It's one of those things that I never realized that that the getting together of everybody who's got the same focus can actually really, really heighten the energy and really heighten your resolve and your belief, right? And anyway, I wanted to just summarize something of your talk on the doTERRA healing hands. So basically, the doTERRA healing hands, from what I got from what you were saying, it brings healing to local communities, and it helps them to become self-reliant, which kind of helps them fundamentally to empower them to live healthier lives. Mm-hmm. I know we all we have our little patter when we're teaching a class about the Healing Hands Foundation, but I think you went into it a little bit more in depth. We know it generates jobs. They provide fair and on-time payments. They also do the microcredit loans, which I think are very important for these local communities, and they give them lending throughout the year, which is also important in places like Haiti, where the crop is only possibly 3 months long to grow, but they get payment throughout the whole year. I thought it was fabulous that they showed us the video of the equal pay and equal opportunities for the women, especially for the frankincense, when we saw the frankincense video, where the women are starting to actually become really empowered and feeling like a really big part of the community. All the techniques that they're using are the proper techniques. So basically, they're increasing yields. They're helping the eco chain, so they're helping us to have sustainability, and they're actually ensuring that the crops, that we will have the oils for a long time to come, really. They're doing safe and healthy work environments, complying with all the local laws. All these things, if you think about them in a rural community, are very difficult to implement. So I think it speaks super highly of doTERRA when you see that they've actually been able to create a communication chain with the leaders of the communities to actually implement these things, rather than being being shunned as something Western. So I feel what's wonderful about doTERRA is they're bringing in a way of, like, particularly for frankincense, they've managed to get all the heads of all the different families that are managing the frankincense and bring them all together to talk, so that we can have a sustainable product, rather than them warring and making it more difficult. I love the way they are creating cooperatives as well, for all the farmers to join, so that the farmers feel safe. And basically, I thought the lovely thing was that they send a lot of the stuff by shipping, rather than sending them by air. doTERRA are sending the product by ship, by sea, so that they're lowering the carbon footprint. So everywhere you look, on every level, doTERRA is actually really trying to be in integrity, which really is, when you're trying to explain that to people, when you can show them every level that doTERRA works at, it really, really kind of shows how they're facilitating the communities where they get the oils, and where they're giving back. Obviously, they're creating access. They're creating access to education in the communities. They're giving clean water and sanitation. And then there's the Fair Oils. I think you were talking about the Fair Oils partnership in Kenya. So for every kilo of oil produced, they give back. They set aside a fund, which is overseen by these cooperatives, and the cooperatives can make a decision as to where they can finance the larger projects. And this is at their discretion, which gives them a feeling of empowerment, you know, which I think is lovely. I love the videos on the Days for Girls, you know, the creating the feminine hygiene kits, and, you know, actually seeing the fact where girls, I mean, I know in ancient times it was called the red tent, where women would go on their special moon days. However, when you see that women are actually shunned and they are put into these little places and they're not allowed to interact, it does show that, you know, that it is more difficult for them. And when you saw them pulling apart there, you know, with such happiness, yeah. It was really, really special and very moving. So I thought that was great. And, you know, we've so doTERRA got the Guinness World Record for preparing these 5,000 kits in 1 hour for the girls. I love that they're doing work in Kenya now, where they're doing ginger, they've got geranium growing, eucalyptus, rosemary, there's so many oils there, and oregano and thyme, you know. I thought it was amazing. I thought that, you know, the fact that they're able to improve lives while giving us, you know, it's actually a win-win. So they're improving their lives, but we're also improving ours at the same time by being able to use the oils. And what's beautiful is the sustainability. They're creating a system whereby hopefully we will have oils for many years to come. So I thought that was amazing. I thought the other video that really, really moved me, and if anyone can go on, I'm sure that you all saw, was the Operation Underground Railroad. Yeah. That is so incredible that they would get involved with things like that. And I think linked to that, they've got a Mentors International now, and a Rafa House aftercare facility where they can help the victims of sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, wherever doTERRA goes, so in Bulgaria, they've got all the Mothers Tea Club or the Mothers Club. In Haiti, they did the Disaster Relief Project. In Guatemala, they've got the piped water and the education programs. In Nepal, they've got the primary health care, and so on. You know, they made a primary health care center in Nepal so that people wouldn't have to walk for 2 hours to get to another primary health care facility. So it's just amazing, you know. It's not mind-blowing, but it shows really the integrity of the founders of doTERRA, and they continue. Right, David Sterling was about to go off where he was going to
Kenya.
He was going to Kenya.
He wasn't. He was going back to Uganda, wasn't he? With Immaculée. He's going
exactly, and he was going there for just 2 days, just to fix, you know, to create that school and everything, and you know, so it just shows how true they are to what they. It's not just talk. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things that gave me my why for the conference. Because not only are they creating these facilities all around the world where they're touching people's lives, but they're also creating, well, they're about to start creating the integrative healthcare facilities here in America. And I'm really hoping that it's going to be, I'm hoping and excited for them to create, you know, clinics with essential oils, Western medicine, and any other supporting healthcare services that would help us as a community. So really, it's going to be, I'm very, very excited. That's what I want to say.
Love it. Thank you so much, Sonia. I love it. I love everything you've said. And it's so true. You know, the executives really are. It's not just a show and tell thing. It's something they actually feel really strongly about. So I'm taking the computer. And actually, just to tell you this, so after the presentation that we did when Alice came on stage, you know, from Kenya, Dr. Hill, I actually found out afterwards, I was aware of this a bit afterwards, followed Alice to her little room and where she was going to get her microphone up and just spoke to her and said, you know what, that really touched me and I want to help. You know, me and my wife want to help on a personal level. So they've been in touch with Alice since. So, you know, and this isn't kind of going to be shown and presented. Exactly. They do that for presentation. They're actually, their hearts are just so in the right place, and exactly what you were saying.
Yeah, it makes it beautiful when somebody is giving back, you know, it's a whole chain, and I feel that I'm part of that chain, you know. And when I stand in front of people, I can say we're part of something bigger.
Exactly.
You know, and
yeah.
you can stand your ground and say, it's not just, I'm not trying to sell you something. There is a much bigger picture for all our futures.
Yeah.
And so that's what really is kind of spurring me on now. It's really given me a kind of a boost.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing, Sonia.
You're welcome.
But it is, you know, this is what we're doing. We share health, we save and change people's lives a lot of the time, and we get to help with the Healing Hands and the Co-Impact sourcing and be part of this bigger picture that Sonia's saying. You know, we're not on our own, even though sometimes we feel we are. This is what can drive us forwards. You know, the stories we've heard tonight about how the essential oils have helped, the science behind it, the future of doTERRA is going to be showing more in the Western world, which is just so exciting, bringing it together with modern medicine as well. But also, you know, we get to make such a big impact on the world, you know, just by using these oils. And then in the future, we can be more active, you know, it's up to us. But just the fact that we're part of this company, I am so grateful. So, yes, thank you so much, everybody, for sharing tonight.
So I was just going to say, it's very important that we all remember how good convention was, to just make sure that you come next year and you bring your whole team with you next year.
Yeah.
And you just encourage everybody that you can to come to it, because it is a really great event. And even though it's in Germany next year, obviously it's tougher for us in the UK, but still be fun. And in some ways, actually better. Bit of a holiday.
More fun. Go somewhere different.
Hopefully nicer than the Excel surroundings. Although that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But.
And also, book for convention, but also get your people to events throughout the year. You know, I know they're not as big as a massive dramatic, you know, wow factor as convention, but they are, like I think what Sonia said, bringing people together with the same, you know, just the power of being in the same room with lots of other people with the same focus as you and they're excited about the oils, just always boosts me. So go to those post-convention, you know, go to Milton Keynes, unless you've got builders somewhere else.
But it's also, the convention is also the only place where you can get the actual feeling from the executives that you are in good hands, or that we are in good hands.
So important.
And that's actually very, very vital for everybody to understand that, you know, their business is in good hands, and actually that they are good, ethical people, and they actually, you know, it seems too good to be true when you tell someone. So it's really important that they actually go and see that for themselves, and everyone that does actually realizes this is true, actually.
Yeah, and I think a couple of you said, and feel it. You can't just tell someone, can you? Like we were saying, you've got to feel it, and that's the power of convention.
Yeah.
So, on that note.
On that bombshell.
Thank you so much. Everyone for contributing. It's brilliant. And next week we'll be back to Monday nights at 8:30, probably, or 8:15 maybe. Yeah. Cool. Enjoy the rest of your half term week. Enjoy the thunderstorms and the sun. Who knows what's going to happen. Yeah.
See you, everyone.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.
It will just straight away.